to Daily 5 for Monday, May 20th, 2024. Thanks to a listener who has more than a few times in the past generously provided me links to movies that are not quite available in the United States yet, I was able to watch a movie I've been looking forward to for quite a while called Mars Express. It is an animated French cyberpunk film. Although I don't even know if cyberpunk is... I think just science fiction covers it better. But I've seen some comparisons. I was reading about the movie and generally seeing just great reviews about it. So I was anticipating a good time, which I did have. I watched it with the French language and English subtitles. So I cannot comment on either the English dub, which I do believe exists for it, being any good or bad. And I cannot tell you whether the French voice actors are good or bad. I can't speak the language, so judging that is very difficult for me. I just use the subtitles and avoided the issue altogether. As far as the animation itself, I've seen comparisons in more than a few places to Ghost in the Shell with this movie. And I kind of understand in terms of the themes to some degree where that comes from, but I also think it may set people up with an unrealistic expectation because Ghost in the Shell is a beautifully animated film. And this movie, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying the animation is bad. I am certainly not saying that. But the comparison that I think is better, but inverted in a way, is another French animated film from 2016, I want to say, called Renaissance, which has this very striking, beautiful black and white art style, animated, rotoscoped, I'm pretty sure, that just really gives it this distinct look. And the look is really what elevates Renaissance past just being another animated film. The story itself is fairly... I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's something you've seen before. There's nothing really surprising in Renaissance in terms of its story, but the animation is a cut above what you might expect. Mars Express, I think, is the inverse of that. The animation is perfectly serviceable. It is not bad. It doesn't look cheap, but it's simple. It's not going for elegance and decadence in its animation. Instead, it is the story that ends up really being the impressive part of the film. And what the movie does is it's structured a little bit strangely, or it puts its quantities, because generally with movies you have a 3-act structure, you know, act 1, act 2, act 3. And I think in the case of Mars Express, and I'll talk more about this on Friday, I can't fit into 5 minutes, but I've seen some people who said that the pacing seemed off, and I don't really think I don't think the pacing is off. I feel like what the movie did wisely was it really put its emphasis on getting you invested in the two main characters. So that when you got to the end of the film, which some people said was rushed, I don't think it's rushed. I just don't think it needed to be longer than it was. Because what the movie is really about is these two characters. And because you spend so much time and understand these characters really well and see them interact and spend a lot of time just understanding who they are, when you get to the end, the payoff for that ending has so much more impact than if they had kind of sped through it and added some more action sequences or something else to kind of make it feel like a more traditional cyberpunk or science fiction film. So that's where I think people, and those aren't negative reviews, they just feel like something is off. And it is a different mixture, if you want to use that type of terminology, than movies typically do with this, at least the way that I read it. But I think that's to the movie's benefit, because the ending does... To some people, it will seem abrupt. I don't think it's actually abrupt. I think it just gets to the point of what the ending is so that you can think about it when the credits roll. And I think that is a success. I think it does it very well. And again, I feel like if the ending had been longer or if they had not done as much character work, I don't know that the ending would really hit you the same way. And it really is a wonderful ending. I mean, the movie overall is fantastic. I really... was impressed with this, and as soon as it is available domestically to buy in a physical form, I will be buying it because I do want to go back and see this film, and I want to support it, so I will buy a physical edition. This is one I would say pick up when you can. And also Renaissance, if you've never seen that. That one kind of got glossed over, I think. It had a really short window of popularity, and I think it's since been forgotten, but Renaissance is absolutely worth seeing. But Mars Express... I think it's just getting to movie theaters now in limited release in the U.S. I don't even know how widespread it is. Probably not. Animation, unless it's Disney, doesn't always do well here, or maybe Miyazaki, and that's about it. But I would say whenever you get the chance to watch Mars Express, you should. And it really... I went in and I had high expectations, which I try not to do, but I went in with those anyway, and I am very happy to say that the film met every single one of them and a little bit extra. So can't wait to actually own the thing. Had a great time with it. Later.